For 10 years, I served as a Catholic priest. For 20 years, I've been a minister with a healing ministry. I've been a Reiki master in 3 lineages, and I've been a certified healing touch practitioner for the past 20 years or so. I've also been a clinical social worker in the chemical dependency program, working with the families of the patients. I was also a therapist on an adult mental health inpatient unit. And one of the things that always used to trouble me was how come people kept coming back with the same story, with the same problem, time and time again, or else how come change was so slow. And I think when I came to the Lightworkers Healing Method program, I found not only the answer to those questions, but also a healing modality and a spiritual vehicle that helped in the healing process. And this came through these workshops conducted by Lynn. I think if I had to pick out one thing that has impacted my life the most by Lynn, was being in the presence of someone who walks her walk. Not just from time to time, but hour after hour after hour. And just being in this presence has really inspired me to embrace my own walk in my own journey. So this morning, I think we're very lucky to be in the presence of such a person. And I really encourage you to listen to her words, because her words come from her heart and they have life-giving energy because she has lived those words. And the other thing is that being open to experience her presence. So it is with gratitude and love and honor to introduce you to Lynn McGonigal.
Okay. Makeup is such a waste. I put it on, I cry it off right away. Why bother? This morning, I did something I've never done before. Maybe you haven't done it either. I sprayed my head with bathroom cleaner. I don't use hairspray very much. I don't use makeup very much, but I wanted to look good for you all. And so I grabbed what I thought was hairspray, sprayed the back of my head with bathroom cleaner. So, yes, it's funny, right? So and that was what clued me in. I thought, that doesn't smell right. So what I've done is clear my mind. And we're in the Lightworkers Healing Method, which is what we're gathered here this weekend to experience and to practice with. We conduct all of our healings and all of our gatherings inside of sacred space. Learning to create sacred space for ourselves and for our lives is a beautiful skill. We have the right to live our lives in sacred space. You know that to be true in your hearts, right? We have the right to live our lives in sacred space. Now, how to do that? Yes? Let's just start now. Let's join in a little meditation. We call it the opening process in our very fancy lingo. It's a process of opening sacred space, opening an experience. So if you have things in your hands, you might want to put them down. You don't have to, but you can. If it helps you draw your focus inward, often it does, you can close your eyes. If you're comfortable closing your eyes, go ahead and do that. And then just for a moment, notice your body. Friends in webinar land, you too. I want to acknowledge you right now. We're glad to have you with us. We know that you're here. We want you to speak up if you can, by chat. Speak up by chat and let us know how things are going throughout the day, throughout the weekend. So friends in webinar land, you too. Go ahead and close your eyes if you feel comfortable in doing so. Draw your focus inward. Notice your body. Notice your breathing. If there's any pain or tightness, pressure or discomfort, just breathe into it with love right now. Pain is just a messenger. It's not here to punish us. It's not here to make us miserable. It's here to tell us something that we've had a hard time hearing another way. So just breathe into it with love and say, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry it's taken me so long to listen to you. Sometimes that's all it needs in order to release, and sometimes it needs more than that. So if your body needs more than that, then promise it that you'll come back to it. Make a date. Set a time. Maybe at the first break, maybe at lunch, maybe at the end of the day, maybe before you go to sleep. But make a date with your body and keep your promise. Keep your promise. And now, friends, draw your focus into the heart chakra, which is centered in the chest, but is much larger than people think of it. Most people think of chakras, rephrase. Most pictures of chakras show them as small, like grapefruits or sucker balls or cantaloupes. But you can open your eyes for a minute if you want. I've never met a person with chakras that small. They might exist. I'm not saying those people don't exist. I've not met one ever. I've only met people who have chakras at a minimum the size of hula hoops, at least the size of hula hoops. So pretend that you're holding a hula hoop in front of you, and this is a small hula hoop. We have other hula hoops in other towns that are bigger. Our Boston hula hoops are bigger than this, and so are our San Francisco hula hoops. But I'm sorry that the Tampa hula hoops are this size. So picture your heart chakra this way. This size, at least this big. And now have the intention to align it with universal presence, just opening up to light and love. And we'll start to draw in light and love from universal presence straight into the front of the heart, filling the entire chakra, so full of love. It bulges and expands with love and then exhales out the back. And now there's a river of love flowing through us and around us from front to back, front to back, front to back, flowing through us and through our lives, letting that river flow. And many people's chakras are much larger than hula hoops. So you can think of them as outstretched fingertip to outstretched fingertip perhaps. And now let that river of love flow through us and around us, through us and through our lives. And gradually let the focus move out the back of the heart, connecting now to that element of divine presence that you're most personally comfortable with. Be it Christ consciousness or Buddha nature or something else, it doesn't matter what it is. Labels don't matter. Find that element of divine presence that you resonate with most deeply and draw it into the back of the heart. Let the yawns happen as your energy bodies expand. Don't suppress yawns. They're a natural reaction to an energy expansion. Don't suppress coughs. It's a natural reaction to an energy shift. Sneeze is the same. Let your body do what it needs to do as the energy moves, and draw this river of love into the back, filling that fullness of the heart chakra with love, and then exhaling out the front, the river flowing back to front, through us and through our lives, through us and through our lives, through us and through our lives, swishing those rivers of love back to front and front to back through the heart, creating turbulence, cleansing, clearing. And now draw the focus to the feet, and through the feet into the planet, to the very center of the planet, drawing up from the center of the planet, Father Earth and Mother Earth energy through us and around us in an upward rising river of love, letting this earth energy support us, clear us, heal us, drawing it up, up, up from the center of the planet to the center of the universe through your pillar of light, at least as far as outstretched fingertip to outstretched fingertip, drawing it up, up, up to source, engaging in that eternal process of straightening the energy body. There's always more we can do. We're never so done that we can't reach to source a little bit more, straighten ourselves a little bit more, have a little bit more joy, a little bit more peace, a little bit more love in our lives. Letting that river flow, earth to sky, earth to sky, earth to sky. And as that river flows up, draw the focus to the crown, and through the crown into source energy, connecting into that rainbow of healing frequencies. And we start to draw in all the healing frequencies we currently have access to, drawing them down through our pillars of light, all the healing frequencies we've ever had access to and all that we will ever have access to, drawing these through us and around us, letting this river flow down, sky to earth, sky to earth, sky to earth, from the center of the universe to the center of the planet, through us and through our lives. Now, let's just swish those rivers of light top to bottom and bottom to top, creating turbulence, cleansing, clearing the pillar. You can even spin your energy body on its axis like a top, like a child's top. Just by compressing from either end, we spin our energy body. We'll get to that little trick tomorrow morning. And now draw the focus to the intersection of heart chakra and vertical channels, letting it build a critical mass of love, and instantly it expands into a bubble of light and love, creating safe, sacred, private, healing, growing, learning space for us to do our work in this weekend. Just notice the outside of the bubble. You can press on it with your hands even though it's miles away. Notice how strong, light, bright, resilient it is, crackling with love, with electricity. It's really clear. Only beings that we invite in can join us. All others pass around. So now we ask our guides, the light beings, the angels, and all the higher dimension beings who wish to be with us today. We're grateful, grateful, grateful for your presence. Thank you. Now, around us, there's spinning a vortex like a white tornado made of love. Tornadoes suck things up. So this vortex takes away everything that we're releasing the moment we release it, leaving only clear space so that we're continually in sacred space. So just notice that vortex. You can maybe feel it or sense it. Just have the intention to connect with it, and don't worry, it will get a lot easier as we go to connect with it. And now right down the center of the vortex, there's flowing a waterfall of love, the living waters, liquid love, divine love, pure love. It's flowing right through us and puddling on the floor on our feet, sinking in, and you can feel it. Some of you, if you're energy sensitive, can feel it with your feet like water at the beach. And now, friends, now we begin. Now we begin. I want to talk to our webinar friends just briefly. I want to apologize for the video quality. We upgraded our software to allow us to have to get past the limit of people on our webinar. And the software upgrade came with a little surprise prize of downgraded video quality. We just found this out on Wednesday, and Mary and Dennis and Bob have been working for 3 days to come up with the best solution, and that's what we're using today, the best solution. I know that it's not perfect, and I apologize to you for that. And what we're going to do in the near term for the next class is we're going to go back to the old software, which has a limit of 25 people, and I apologize for that because I know that we have 50-something people here with us on webinar today, and half of you will not be able to take the level 2 class, and I apologize for that. There isn't anything we can do about that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So if you know that you want to take it, don't wait. Don't wait. So friends, we're here. This is a level 1 class, and I love the level 1 because it's a new beginning. It's a new beginning. And this is a comprehensive divine energy healing method that helps you, that teaches how you can discover what your soul plan is, teaches you to be what your soul wants you to be, and help other people do the same. This is the first class in a series of many, many classes. You can go as far as you wish. If this is all you want, perfect. If you want to go farther, that's fine too. So this weekend is the foundational weekend where we learn the energy alignment that is necessary in order to get through the astral planes and tap into the higher dimensions, to truly tap in. And then, of course, to receive the transmissions and practice. But the alignment is what we'll be practicing. Ask questions as they come up. If we get behind, we might have to not do that. But generally speaking, other people have the same questions too. And so don't just ask it for yourself, ask it for that other person. who maybe hasn't been able to put the question into words, but has it in their hearts. Now, at this point in classes, often the instructor says, take your problems and put them outside the door so that you can have the experience, yes? That is good. I'm not saying that's a bad idea. The catch is when you go out the door, what's there? Your problems! So let's take it a step beyond that, friends. Take your problems right now. Your central life challenges, the things that are really important. They have energy. They're tangible. Use your powerful energy hands. Gather them up. Make a big ball of them. Don't be afraid to look like an idiot. Look, you're already in this room. People think you're crazy anyway. Come on. Gather it up. Gather it up. Get a big ball of your problems. Who needs more time? We're ready, right? On the count of 3, what we're going to do is toss these up to our guides, and then we'll gather up the remnants and do it a couple more times. Yes? Ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, go! Whew! Do it again. Gather up the remnants. Quick, 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 quick. Gathering up, making a ball. 1, 2, 3, go! One more time. Gather it up, gather it up, gather it up. 1, 2, 3, go! Okay, now, we don't have to understand how the answers are coming. We don't have to understand how Spirit's going to solve our problems. Be open. Just be open. It's really wonderful what technology does, that we can be here together today, and we're all here together, whether we're in this room or in the Philippines or in Lebanon or Norway or Canada or Australia, which is the middle of the night. Namaste. We're all here, though, for our own reasons. And I'm here because 23 years ago my brother died and my life changed. Until then, I was living by society's rules. And what I'm going to say right now isn't something that I normally say, because people can misunderstand it. They can think I'm saying, look, I was so great. And that isn't it at all. What I'm trying to say is this. I played by society's rules. Those rules don't work. They don't work. So, the rules of society. Rule number 1, succeed in school. I graduated from high school as a National Merit Scholar at the age of 16. I have 7 years of college and grad school. We can check that off, right? Rule number 2, succeed in business. I was a CPA for 20 years. I still am technically. I worked as a CPA for 20 years. I started that career at Price Waterhouse. I was the controller of a $200 million manufacturing company at the age of 25. I was a partner in a CPA firm. We can check it off, right? I didn't have any problems with money or self-esteem. Rule number 3, have a good home life, right? I was married to a great guy for 28 years. The average marriage lasts 8 years. I have 2 wonderful kids. We can check it off. Rule number 4, be connected with others. I had lots of friends. I was involved in my community. I've been giving back as a volunteer my entire life. No problems with love or companionship. People would say to me, you have it all together. They said that because I was succeeding by society's rules. But at the same time, I had lifelong allergies. I had chronic strep throat, chronic ear infections, even as an adult. I had TMJ problems, neck and back pain, heart palpitations, ulcers, chronic foot pain, anxiety attacks, trouble sleeping, and a bunch of phobias. That's where I was when my brother Alan, who I loved, died. And then he came back to show me how to get to my guides, and I didn't understand that that was what was going on at the time. But I loved him so much, and I missed him so much that I was just willing to follow him, and I didn't know where we were going. I didn't really care. I didn't care. So I was following him. It took months. It took months. And then we broke through the top of the astral planes into the higher dimensions, where the guides are. To my own guides. He took me to my own guides. And then he left so that I would quit looking at him and I would pay attention to my guides. And that was in 1991. So then my guides took me by the hand and very lovingly and patiently began to teach me this healing system that we now call the Lightworkers healing method. You know, I showed up disoriented like we all are and hard of hearing like we all are. But I was willing and desperate, you know, desperate. And so I just would practice what they would teach me. I practiced it on my kids and my CPA practice and on my home. And I kept going even when my results would bomb out and things wouldn't turn out well. I would keep going because I didn't feel like I had much other, like, why not? Why not? Really, why not? Society's rules weren't working. Why not? So then in 1994, the messages began. You aren't doing your work in the world. So I asked what they wanted me to do, but I couldn't hear, hard of hearing, that hard of hearing thing. And so I never said no, but I just put it off. This is what we do, you see? It's normal. I can tell you want me to do something else. Speak up. Okay, well, I can't hear, so I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. Right? This is what we do. So I put it off for years. And then in 1998, by January of 1998, I was very ill, and disabled with a bad case of chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia. So I sold my CPA practice and went to bed. And my goal became to get out of bed, So I tried everything to get well. I started with Western medicine because that was my frame of reference. My dad's a medical doctor. My background and my entire family of origin, all of them, are in science and Western medicine, all of them. Western medicine could do nothing for me, nothing. So then I started with chiropractic and acupuncture. I have a list because there are a lot of them. Reiki, therapeutic touch, hypnosis, raw foods, juicing, fasting, yoga, hot yoga. Some things helped a little, some things didn't help at all. And then I started, I realized I got to do something serious here. And I started using the techniques my guides had taught me. Seriously now, not playing around anymore. Now for real. And it worked. It worked. Got me out of bed. I had to watch my limits, but I was out of bed. And then in 1999, my friend Jane, where are you, Jane? Jane! She got me over the next hurdle of working with people outside my family. I'd been working inside of my family for 9 years. For 9 years. And Jane had this ankle that kept spraining, chronic sprained ankle, and I could see it was plain as the nose on her face that it was from that fatal snake bite in the past life. But how do you say something like that? So I didn't say anything, and then one day she's telling me again, and the words came out of my mouth. I didn't know I was going to say that. I think I can help you with that. And she told someone who told someone who told someone, and then before I knew it, I had a healing practice. I knew I could help with some things. I already knew that. But I didn't know how much until the calls started coming in. My migraines are gone. My phobias are gone. My sciatica is gone. My lupus is gone. I don't know if you recognize this, but these are things that don't go away. My arthritis is gone. The pain that would take an operation to cure, all gone. My cancer's gone. The doctor says it must have been a misdiagnosis. My house sold after being on the market for 3 years. My business went from flat to booming. My relationships are transformed. And I realize something remarkable is going on here. And it isn't me. I couldn't make these things happen, but they're happening. They're happening. What's even more incredible is what was happening in my life at the same time, because through the miracle of simultaneous healing, which comes from the merge, which we'll be working on this weekend, it comes from the merge. I went from managing life to running half marathons. I've run 2 half marathons, not as easy as it sounds. Having a full-time practice, being a single mom of 2 teenagers with a very, very busy schedule, and thriving. And what's more, all those issues I had at the start evaporated. That was a wonderful stage of life. I love that stage of life. And then in 2006, the messages began again. Tap, tap, tap. You aren't doing your work in the world. We didn't go through all of this just for you. So then I had to figure out how to teach it. I began 6 years ago with 3 apprentices who got it enough to encourage me to take the next step, and we've been teaching formal classes for 4 years now. And the most amazing thing happens. Everyone who tries it gets it too. So once again, it's really, really clear. There's something remarkable happening here. I can't teach divine energy healing, and yet people are learning it. Miracles are happening. I'm not creating them. So here's what's happening. I've learned to be a channel for higher dimension healers and teachers. It's a teachable, learnable skill, not a gift. You can all learn this too. The higher dimension healers are calling for others to be channels for healing. They're the power behind the Lightworkers healing method. They're the ones that make the miracles happen. We don't do it. We're just like the straws they blow through to reach the world. That's it. That's it. It's divine energy healing. We don't have to be good at it. We just have to do our best. When we do our very best, miracles happen. Some element of the divine supplies the rest. We do our very best. When we keep showing up, when we don't run away, even when it seems impossible, when we ask for help and just keep going, miracles happen in our presence and in our lives. Your guides love you. No one's ever being tricked by their guides. The universe has your back. We have a saying here in our internal community. Your guides haven't brought you this far to drop you on your head. You can do this. It can happen for each of us. We'll help you. I'll help you. So what are we talking about here? We're all spiritual beings having a human experience. Who's heard that? Souls. We're souls more than we are humans. Our souls have a plan for our lives before we're born. Through the Lightworkers healing method, we help people come back into alignment with their soul's plan for the life that they're living, help them be who their souls plan to be. And when they do that, miracles happen, things heal. We act as vessels for the higher dimension beings to bring people back into alignment, and it works on anything. Physical things, mental things, emotional things, financial things, spiritual things, interpersonal things, the stuff of life. Because everything is in the plan one way or the other. And when we come back into alignment with the plan isn't for us to be suffering. The plan is for us to have challenges, but to grow. What happens today and tomorrow, learning to be the links, the straws for the higher dimension beings to blow through, this is what matters most. The techniques that we teach in the level 2 class and the level 3 class and the higher level classes are wonderful and empowering. But this is what matters most. When we aren't straws, it's just us, baby. When we're straws, the full power of the universe engages. It's important to remember we can't force any outcome. All we do is bring people back into alignment. Does that make sense? Are we doing okay so far? Okay, good. Things like this can be difficult to explain, and so sometimes it's easier to just show it than talk about it. Would that be all right if we do a demonstration? Do I have a volunteer with physical pain? Oh, yeah. Well, Lisa's hand went up for it. There are. And I had chronic pain. I had chronic pain for 7 years. I understand pain. Come on up, honey. Come on. Who's my timer? Thank you, Stephanie. Oh, let me explain the time thing. We say that we're going to start our class at 10 and end at 6, and the miracle is we do actually start at 10 and end at 6. And the reason is this. I've made a commitment to the higher dimension beings that I'm here at 10 o'clock so that they show up and they're acknowledged and honored. And that I'll be here until 6, and then it's done, which means we have to cram it all in by 6. So we start at 10 and we end at 6. Come on, sweetie. On the table, whichever, shoes off is for comfort. Stephanie, you're my timer. Can you give me 15 minutes and 5 minutes? Thank you. And we're supposed to be done, wow, we're on schedule. So the 15 minutes is 10 till. Thank you. Okay, warnings about the demonstrations. My focus shifts. It's not going to be on you so much anymore. It's going to be on what's going on here. So my volume can drop. My voice can get quiet. Don't feel you have to sit in those chairs. You can move around if you need to. And I'm trusting Dennis will make it work for the webinar, friends. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Dennis. And Hans. Okay. Let me just I'm getting my tools. Energy clearing spray. Energy builds up, especially as it releases from people's energy bodies. You can get a nice fog going. It can be helpful to enlist outside resources. These sprays are made of essential oils, aromatherapy. We don't make them. I'm a connoisseur of sprays. This is the best one I've found. And a sharp object, because my best includes being precise. I'm not going to hire you. You should have seen her eyes. Okay, tell me what's up.
Chronic pain in my right hip.
Oh, perfect.
And there's medically they can't find anything wrong, but there's something wrong with it. It sure hurts.
Right. Okay, so chronic pain in her right hip for 3 years. First, I'm checking my own energy alignment. And then I begin the process of merging energy. I hold space for spirit and I become one with her. We'll talk about this more today. Coughing is the body's natural response to energy shifting. Don't suppress coughs. Please, in my presence, do not ever suppress a cough, a sneeze, or a body response. Let your body do what it needs to do. Now we'll start by bringing our hearts into alignment with universal presence. I'm drawing light and love from Source straight into the front of the heart, filling the entire chakra so full of love it bulges, expands, and then exhales out the back in a river of love. Letting the river flow through us and around us now, front to back, flowing through us and through our lives, swishing that river just a little bit. There's fuzz in the back of your heart chakra, it's protection. it's understandable, but we can wash it out. We can wash it out. You don't need that. It's old protection from a bunch of things that happened. And so we just acknowledge that they happened. And we just let it go. Letting that river flow. There we go. I'm going to pulse the vortex, taking away everything that's being released the moment it's released, leaving only clear space for us. Now we let our focus draw out the back of the heart chakra, connecting to that element of divine presence we're most personally comfortable with, finding it by pitch, by vibration, drawing it into the back of the heart until once again the chakra bulges, expands, and exhales out the front. And now the river of love is flowing in the back and out the front, through us, around us, through us, and through our lives. And spinning that chakra, and now inviting both rivers of love to flow full force simultaneously, doubling the amount of love present. Drawing the focus now to the feet and through the feet, connecting into divine planetary energy from the very center of the planet, drawing up Father Earth and Mother Earth through us and around us in an upward rising river of love flowing through us and through our lives, letting that river flow earth to sky, earth to sky, earth to sky, straightening up the energy body, engaging in this eternal process of straightening the energy body. You need more light at your back. Your energy body has a very common configuration of more energy in the front than in the back, which creates a life of hard work. There's not divine wind at your back to push you forward, so we're just adding some light at the back of the energy body, drawing a lot more energy. Whew. Oh, you know what? That explains a lot of the need to protect at the back of the heart, because not enough light at the back. It makes sense. So more light at the back. Just kind of like note to self in your meditations and self-treatments. Drawing the light up, 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 up to source. I'm going to ask the light beings right now to help me bring balance to this energy body. Once more asking the light beings to bring balance to the energy body. And again asking the light beings to balance the energy body. Now we draw our focus to the crown. And through the crown, connecting into source energies, that rainbow of healing frequencies. And we start to draw in all the healing frequencies we currently have access to, have ever had access to, and will ever have access to, drawing these through us and around us in a downward flowing river of love, letting the river flow, sky to earth, swishing those rivers top to bottom and bottom to top. Spinning the energy body like a top, creating turbulence, cleansing, clearing, pulsing the vortex to take away what's being released, drawing the focus to the intersection of heart chakra and vertical channels. And there it pops into a bubble of light and love, creating safe, sacred, private healing space. Noticing the outside of this bubble, a smaller bubble, light, bright, resilient, strong, made of love, crackling with electricity. It's clear that only beings that we invite in can join us. This is private, sacred healing space. I'm asking for our guides, angels, healing beings to join us, permission to do this work with Lisa today, guidance, support, protection in the process. Okay, Lisa, I'm asking your higher self, your soul self, for permission to work in your energy body and with your guides, and feel free to place any limitations you want on that and know that they'll be honored. Thank you, thank you. Now I'm asking your guides and angels to join us in the bubble and open the channels of communication wide. And they're here, they're already here, and first thing we're doing is just kind of like clearing the decks. I'm shooting some light through your hip. I'm working in an etheric hologram of your energy body, but I'm shooting light through vertical channels. They're short and broken off. There's a what's your belief in reincarnation? Okay, good. So that's an important question, because what's coming up is something that's clearly from another life. However, if she didn't have a belief, can I spray us?
Yeah.
If she didn't have a belief in reincarnation, I would phrase it differently so that she could be open to the healing. It's not my job to convince her of anything, you see? We work inside the confines of our subjects' belief systems. We honor their belief systems while dealing with the reality that she has a past life issue going on here. So if she said, no, I don't believe it, we would word it differently, but we're still going to get the past life thing out. All right, I'm just going to have to start babbling through it because I don't see what's significant. I see you, and it's outside, and it's a nice day, and it's like a open air market, and you're happy, and you're happy. It's a good day. It's kind of like a place that you're comfortable or familiar. It's more like almost like an art fair or something. This is another lifetime, but it has that feeling of this is a community of people that you know. You're comfortable there. You belong there. And then something happens. People come in from not a member of your group. It's like you're having your fair, and some other people who are definitely not good, quote unquote, by like they're not happy with you guys, come in and they're knocking tables over and breaking things, and people are running, and you're not afraid, and you go up to them and you say, "Get out!" And sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't, So this time, you did the right thing, you understand? And so Spirit acknowledges. That was the right thing to do, to say, "Get out!" But something bad happened to your hip right then. It's like, oh yeah, okay, so let's get this out. So now you see how this can affect you in multiple ways. Of course, the hip hurts, but that's not what they're talking. Your guides aren't meaning that. They mean, so when the moment comes that you, in your life, want to say, "Get out," or whatever it would be in that appropriate circumstance, part of you might go, "Ooh, do I really want to say that? Let me think it through. Is that the right thing to say?" Might make it hard to just say, "Stop it. That's not okay. Stop it." Is this okay with you? Is this a pattern for you? Do you recognize it? Doesn't. Oh, don't go into your head. Don't go into your head. Don't go into your head. I'm sorry I said that. Here we go. Okay. So you're knocked on the ground, and I think probably you're. So what happened is one of those guys, and he has big boots. He just went boom, and kicked you in the hip. So it could have been worse, It could have been worse, but it did, I think, break something. And at first, you're just in shock. It's like, what just happened almost? And then it starts to hurt, and you're not thinking about what just happened anymore. You're thinking about, oh, whew, that hurts. So let's just ask to clear it. We're just going to start to draw this out. I'm going to ask for help to draw this out, and whatever it represents, and whatever it's tied to. So, it was important for you to do that. It was the right thing to do, and your soul knew that it was going to happen. Your soul had, in that life, what happened as a result, there wasn't even the quality of medical care we have today. They can't help you today, but there was nothing to help you then, And so you had a life of chronic pain, which your soul needed for reasons that we probably don't have time to get into, which were not for punishment. You understand? And so that was the setup to get you a life of chronic pain, which, check that one off. Accomplished. We don't need it now, though. Asking for helps, whatever this represents, whatever the chronic pain need is, if it's complete, if it's in the divine plan for this to release, then let's release it now. If it's in the divine plan for this to release, then release it now. I'm asking for help. There we go. It's like a hole has opened up, and hurt is coming out. It's like liquid. I'm just going to ask for help and start drawing it up, sending it to Source, asking the light beings to suck it up like with a straw. And now we're blowing. Oh, that makes sense. Blowing truth from beneath it. So what you were saying was a statement of truth. They needed to stop doing that. Stop it. She was standing up for Spirit. It was the right thing to do. There we go. So, Who's ever tried to stand up for spirit and have it not turn out so great? Right? I'm thinking all the hands would go up. So friends, let's just do this for all of us. When we reach out and include a wider group, there's more higher dimension help and a more powerful healing for her. So now, may everybody who stood up for spirit and have it not turn out so great, may we all be helped. May we all be helped. Let's pull it out for the world right through your hip, and that'll get your hip good and clean. You're okay with this, right? Here we go. I feel it too in my hip. You see, we feel it. Don't be afraid to feel their pain. It's okay. We feel their pain, but it goes. So now I'm seeing like all these people. I don't think they're you. They're just like people of the world who, like monks and, you know, all these people standing up for spirit and having it not turn out so good. Do it for yourselves right now, friends. If you have a point of pain, pull out whatever is underneath there, especially if it's standing up for spirit and having it not turn out so good, and hand it up to the source. What's happening? Tell me.
I can feel like it feels like you're pulling something out, but it's like it's really deep. And
It is
coming all
really
the way
deep.
From like my foot.
It's pulling from her foot up. Yeah, really deep, pulling from her foot up. She's had it for 3 years. It's going to be really deep, you understand? And it might come off in layers. We're layered beings. And so this is the layer that's on top. We take this layer off. It'll get better. And then the next layer will come up. And then we'll take the layer off. And you know how we know we're done? The pain doesn't come back. Our lives show us. Our lives. What? 15. You got to shout because I'm like in the zone. No subtlety with me right now. Thank you. I'm sorry, there it is. Whatever it is, the layer that we're supposed to bring out right now. Okay, so it messed you up badly because it was in your hips and you were a woman, a young woman, no kids, obviously. Don't. Right. Right. I think it caused a bunch of problems other than just the pain. Like it just disrupted your life, like something like that would. So we say, okay, we have your soul contract right here. It's not from that life or from this life. It's like the continuity of soul contract. It's the continuity. And so your guides have a pen and they're handing it to you and they say, if you want to sign off as complete on that lesson, they're okay with that. Do you want to sign?
Mm-hmm. Do you want me to write on your
Yeah. Sign your signature.
That's my signature.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. Now we can peel this big thick layer of stuff off. And that's opening up a door into other lives that we're not going to have time to go into today, but we're just going to say, help us flush this out. And it's like looking down a tunnel into the past and the doors are opening, boom, 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 boom. So signing off on that is an important choice, and now some healing can happen. Tell me what's going on. Give me some feedback.
It's just, I can feel a lot of movement. It's just coming from all directions, mostly all on the right side, though.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Interesting feeling. A lot of movement. How's the?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I'm
you
feeling
feel
up
it.
in my back too. It's like pulling from all directions.
Yeah, pulling from all directions. We're just going to get as much of this out as we can in this short little time that we have, and then we'll acknowledge that there's more. Now, can I spray us?
Mm-hmm.
Oh darn, how's the pain right now?
Actually, quite a bit less. Yeah.
Quite a bit less. Can you remember what it was like at the start and put a number on it, 1 to 10?
Say it was a 10.
Was a 10, and what is it now?
3.
Maybe a 3. There's one more thing from that same life, and you're much younger. You're a little girl in that life, and you are somewhere where your mom takes you to. It's a fun thing. It's supposed to be a fun thing, like to have your palm read. It's supposed to be, haha, let's just go have our palms read, like treating it like a play, a game. And the woman tells you, oh, well, I don't have good news for you. And she told you. And your mom is horrified and like, how could you say that to a little girl? And she's, angry at the woman and pulls you away. It was the truth. Standing up for truth. This is about truth. It's a deep lesson in truth. So help us all hear the truth when it comes at us, you see? And you were a little girl. It wasn't your choice to go, don't tell me, that, but it confused you. You thought, because you could feel the truth of what she was saying. And then your mom's reaction, you thought, oh, maybe that, it was just confusing. Like, I thought that felt like truth. Maybe that wasn't truth. It confused you. There we go. So we're pulling out confusion about what's true and what's not. Who's ever been confused about what's true and what's not? This is a human thing. Let's do this for all of us. Let's do this for all of us. Pull out confusion about what's true and what's not, and hand it like handing the tip of a rope to our guides. Take it. Like we're still pulling, but they're pulling too. Some of you can feel, right? Who can feel your guides pulling on the ropes? Yeah. What? It's time? What time? Do I have 5 minutes? No. Is this 5 minutes? Do I have 5 minutes left? No. Shoot. Okay. Okay. So what I'm going to do is the speed close. Errors corrected. Omissions included, things that were done poorly to be done well, everything done well, divinely perfect, perfect. I'm asking for Lisa's energy and mine and everyone's we touch, which is probably all beings, to be brought to perfect frequency and alignment and in harmony with the all that is. Lisa and me and all beings brought to our perfect pitch and state of balance and in harmony with the all that is. This is my personal close. This isn't the generic one. Lisa and me and all beings brought to our perfect vibration in a full state of empowerment. Now we start to separate. Your energy to you, mine to me. Grounding, stabilizing, separating, setting. Asking the light beings to take it over from here. Grounding, stabilizing, separating, setting. Grounding, stabilizing, separating, setting. Yours to you, mine to me. Everyone else back to them. Yours to you, mine to me. Everyone else back. Calling your energy back from wherever you've left it, because you've got a lot of energy lying around that you've left around in other lives. And we're calling. Don't worry, everybody does. Everybody does. We acknowledge it and we fix it. Drawing it, or address it, wrong word. We address the problem. Drawing it in to all of us. Everybody, call your energy back from wherever you've left it, no matter how many lives it's been gone. Calling it in, right now. Into the backs, too. We lose it out our backs all the time. There we go. Grounding, stabilizing, separating, setting the energy. Now we take the bubble of light we started with, expanding it 1 billion times over, splitting it into individual bubbles. One for you, one for me, one for everyone we touched. Everyone encased in light, drawing all those bubbles down into the plan, locking them in place, and we are complete. Thank you. Whew. So just a request, I need a 5-minute warning. Whoever my timekeeper is in any class ever, 5-minute warning. Thank you. Okay, who's going to help her process out? Thank you. Okay, friends, questions? Webinar friends too. Natalie.
What were you doing with
What was I doing with the pen? in divine energy healing, we have to do our best. You see, I've been working with this for 23 years. In my best, I have to be very precise. Very precise. You see, you're starting out. Wave your arms! I have to find the precise point, the precise point. But that's because that's the level I'm working at. If I didn't do that, I wouldn't be doing my best. I would be faking doing my best. Then it wouldn't work. Then it wouldn't work.
So it looked like you were drawing out with it. So were you like...
We're not going to talk about that because that's not a technique I'm going to teach in this class. But thank you. Other questions? I didn't mean to cut you off. It's just that we only have so many minutes for questions. That's the tools. We talk about working with tools. There's a higher level class on working with tools. No other questions? Do you guys see something like this every day? Dot.
I'm holding the energy.
Shout it out.
I'm holding the energy and allowing her to just release whatever, continue to release the process, to release and process her healing, and holding the energy, staying grounded.
I want to address why we're doing this. It's because these demonstrations are happening in an artificially short time. That was only 25 minutes. That's not a therapeutic length of time, you see? This is deep energy healing. We're not just doing a fluff and buff. We're opening up an energy body so that we can reach into past lives and pull out the stuff that's been holding her back, you see? The stuff that's been causing her pain. That's deep work in a therapeutic length. It's typically an hour and 15 minutes, an hour and a half. That's long enough to do it gently and kindly. So here, we've got to get it out. We have 25 minutes. Now she needs some help to process out. Does that make sense? Anyone else?
There was a lot of it and it was old.
A lot of it and it was old. Oh, I can't see your name tag because of your beautiful hair. Bobby!
Hi, are you actually seeing in your mind's eye what's going on in the past life?
So am I actually seeing it? Yes, I do. But our ways of, and I'm feeling it. And I'm her. I'm walking through the fair. I'm feeling happy. It's a good day. Here come those people. No, you're not doing that. Get out. Ah! Sorry. I'm her.
Energy, are you seeing something?
Okay, so I think the question really is, how does one relate to energy? And so the answer is, however you relate to energy. And we'll work with that today, actually, because we all do it our own ways. Some people are very visual. Others are very kinesthetic. Some people work with felt sense, the inner knowing. They just know. And whatever you work, and others, there are other ways. So whatever way works for you is what's right for you. And we'll work with that this afternoon. BJ.
Amazingly, I had the same hip pain.
Oh, what a coincidence.
Same hip. So
Yeah.
while you were working with her, this morning during meditation, I got a flash that this is past life related. And that's all I got. While you were working on her, fear came up, and I didn't know if that was from mine or from hers.
Is there a difference, really?
No. But you said it was about truth with hers, so I wondered, well, was it all interrelated, or was I feeling stuff coming up from me?
Well, if I were a betting person,
It's all interrelated.
I would say it's all interrelated.
Okay.
But does it matter?
No. No.
What matters is that it come out. One more question, and then we go to a break. Any last questions? Okay, friends, we have a restroom break.
From Lisa Bedoya's group in Boston, what if you're not getting any messages?
Who can, teaching team, who can imagine what that would be like? Is there anybody on the teaching team who does not have their hand raised? We all have our hands raised, Lisa. I had it happen yesterday. So we'll talk about this too. We'll talk about it tomorrow. So the first thing, of course, is to reestablish sacred space. Pulse the vortex, pulse the living waters, reestablish your own sacred space, get your alignment back, deepen the merge, channels up, all the things we'll talk about today. And then it will come. It will come. One more quick one, Elaine.
I had a different story about what happened to her hip.
Well, it's layers. You see,
Yeah.
she has layers of this. I took off the layer that was on the top. So if that's the only layer, why would it last 3 years? You understand? Now, it could be the only layer, or it could be the last layer. And I don't want to put that thought in your head that it can't release. Yeah, there was a lot of it, and it was old. So very likely there's more interwoven. So friends, we have a restroom break. It's 10 minutes long by my clock. That means back at 11:15, and we start at 11:15. So friends, we talked about this very generally to start with. We did a demonstration. That's a demonstration of the full method, which is just whatever the guides send through. That's not a demonstration of what we'll be doing this weekend. We'll have practices this weekend, but they're at they're at the starting levels. We'll take you through, yeah, that's a good thing, right? Yeah, we'll take you through this step by step by step. We break it down. It has been broken down. The curriculum has been broken down. This is the 11th time we've given this class. And my instructions in every single class are to make it better than the classes that came before it. So this is the 11th time for this class, but the 50-something class. And so, we work with with what we have and try to make it better and better. So we're getting better at it. We're not done, but we're getting better. And now what we'll do is start the step-by-step process of learning. When you're working with others, here's the foundation of what we do. Simple, easy steps. 5 easy steps. First things first, we align with energy flow. The yawns, the coughs, these are energy shifting. Yawns are our energy bodies pushing against our boundaries of what we think we are. We think we're smaller than we actually are. When that mental image is holding our energy bodies too small, a yawn occurs. Think what happens who has dogs or knows dogs. You pet your dog. Have you noticed dogs yawn when you pet them? You give them energy. It increases the flow of energy. Why does a dog yawn? Think about that. It's increasing the flow of energy. So when a yawn happens, just let your energy body expand. Don't hold yourself small. You'll make yourself sleepy by holding yourself small. So, first things first, in healing others, we align with divine flow. Our opening process has this built into it step by step. The back of your booklets, course booklets, have the opening and closing process. The last 2 pages are appendices, an opening process, very generic, a closing process, very generic. Everybody who practices the Lightworkers healing method puts their own little stamp on the opening process and on the closing process. You'll come to own it. What you hear me doing is the way I do it. When other people do demonstrations, you'll hear the way they do it. So first we align with the divine flow. We balance our energy. We clear our own heart chakras. We clear our own pillar of light. This vertical focus is the most important part of our energy body to be channels for higher dimension healers. Connected, obviously, to the higher dimensions and grounded, connected to the planet. Because how can we bring the light to Earth if we're not on Earth? If we're just floating, woo! We can't help. We can help a little bit maybe, I don't know. But when we're grounded, we can help a lot. We can help a lot. So first we clear our own alignment. And then, now that part is probably, oh, you know what I forgot? Who's got energy healing background in some modality or another? Hands way up high. Shout out, modalities. Reiki, pranic healing, acupuncture.
Reflexology.
Who's the acupuncturist? Hi, Martha. Reflexology. Who's the reflexologist? Debbie. Shout it out. Body talk. Therapeutic touch. Feldenkrais. Integrated energy therapy. Music. Yes. Anyone else? Say it again. Theta healing. Anybody else in webinars? Webinar friends, if you have a modality that hasn't been mentioned, please type it in and we'll shout it out when it comes through. Rebirthing. Say it again. Diksha. I don't know that one. Okay, we'll talk about that. So, here's what I'm getting at there. We've taught these classes, we've taught a number of classes, and we've had hundreds of people through our program. And we've had the opportunity to observe people with backgrounds in many, many wonderful and beautiful and helpful healing modalities. And so please don't hear this as me bashing other healing modalities, because I'm not. Bob.
Synergy,
Holistic synergy.
craniosacral,
Craniosacral.
energy healing, quantum energetic structure therapy.
Quantum energetic structure therapy. Very good. So I'm always on the lookout for new ones. So the point that I'm trying to make is this. Fairies. Yes. The point I'm trying to make is this. Those energy healing modalities, and I have a background in them. I'm a Reiki. I didn't originally. My guides sent me after I was they wanted me to teach this, and so they sent me to energy healing classes, which was very confusing. Wouldn't you think if your guide sent you to energy healing classes, you're supposed to learn those modalities and use them in your work, and then you try to use them and they don't work as well as what you're already using? You think, what? I know, it was very confusing, but I understand now. So all of those energy healing modalities, and I have Reiki and pranic healing. I'm a Reiki master in 3 different lineages. Pranic healing all the way through, took all the higher level classes, reconnective healing all the way through, hypnosis. I have a 12-year, I have a good reputation actually in the hypnosis community. And more, and more. But all of those energy healing modalities have a certain alignment, which is very loving and supportive. And please hear this. It's good. They're helping people. They're helping people. Not in the same way. This energy alignment is, in many cases, keep yourself separate from the subject, keep good, healthy boundaries, and sense them. Sense what's going on with them. And so people's intuitive channels, their antenna, their sensing devices, whatever sensing mechanisms they use, are very lovingly around and inside the other person. You know, they're sensing the person. Now, friends, we don't do that here. If you try to hold that energy alignment, you won't be able to channel higher dimension healers. To channel higher dimension healers, we merge with the subject. We become him or her. We do not hold ourselves back. We let go of the illusion of separateness. There's only one of us here. Who's heard that? There's only one of us here. So friends, it's true. It's true. This isn't just some lip service thing. It's true. So we quit pretending. Here, remember we were talking about chakras being as big as outstretched arms. Everybody do this. Do this right now. Hold your arms outstretched, fingertip to fingertip. Now notice what's happening with the people you're sitting next to. You're overlapping energy. You see, we're overlapping energy all the time. All the time. And so the idea of holding ourselves separate in a healing session first is kind of funny. Because we can't do, well, we can try, and that limits our ability to be channels. So in this art, we don't do that. We merge in. It's completely safe. You've already aligned with divine flow. You see? You merge in. This is what activates the miracle of simultaneous healing. This is what got me from managing life to thriving. You asked me, Rocco, How do you say it? How do you get so joyful? Bubbly. This is it, friends. It's the merge. It's the merge. It's the merge. It may sound simple, but it's true. So, we align with divine flow. We merge in with our subject. And this is a process that will take time. Most people tend to merge in pretty well about to their head, and then it gets kind of dicey down to their heart, and then whoop! So that's okay. You see, that's how we start. And then we just remember to merge in all the way down to the center of the planet. Poof. A full pillar overlay, this vertical pillar of light, which is what we truly are. Spiritual beings having a human experience. We're energy, we're light. So when we relate to ourselves as that, it helps us get it in our heads too. Third thing, channels up. Channels up to the guides. We sense energy however we sense it. Congratulations on your energy shift. We sense energy however we sense it. And the point is to put our focus up to the higher dimensions, up to our subject's guides. We don't need to be sensing our subject. We have become, congratulations, our subject. And we can focus on his or her guides. And the guides know what's up. The guides know what's up. And as we draw, wow, shifting happening everywhere. As we put our channels up to the guides, the other higher dimension beings, it's like a channel opens up and they go, ooh, we got a live one here. Yes, and they cluster around to drop healing and blessings down through the tube. That's us. Question?
In some healing modalities, there's focus on cleansing of any negative energy taken on during the session. And merging are in need of cleansing so we don't take on their issues and maladies.
Here's the thing, friends. Here's the thing. If we don't have any of their vibration issues and maladies, if we don't have any of that vibration in our system, it just passes through like wind. If we do have any of their issues and maladies through the power and miracle of the merge, we are healed of the issues at the same time. And here's the thing. Who's noticed? It's easier to see other people's stuff than to see our own stuff. We're blind to what we need, but the universe is not blind. Our guides are not blind, and they will bring us exactly the people that we need to work on to heal ourselves. To heal ourselves. Okay, so align with divine flow, merge, channels up. And now we're in the zone and we start to ask for help with whatever the subject's intentions are. It's not for us to tell him or her what he or she wants to heal, but we can only bring them into alignment with their plan. This is divine energy healing. We can't pull them off their plan. Sometimes people will come to you with their intention worded in such a way that it says, I know what's best for me and I want this result. And we have to be really careful about that. So this hip pain, we want to work with the hip pain. The hip pain represents something. A life pain, we want to work with it and what it represents. We don't necessarily want to accomplish a specific goal. We want it to resolve in the divinely perfect way. Does that make sense? And then we trust. We trust the outcome is perfect. You see, we trust in the session too when we're bumbling around and we can't hear. What's that? What's that you say? What is it I'm supposed to do? It happens, you see? And so we just trust that if we're really doing our best, it's true. Some element of the divine does supply the rest. And then when we get to the end of the session, if we've done our best and we call for divine help, it will be made right, you see? Now, it might not all happen at once, but it might. It might. It might. I used to have this really lovely acronym that I used, but unfortunately I had to let it go because it didn't fit. It was confusing people. So now we have AMCAT. Doesn't it sound like a transportation system? Yeah. You took AMCAT here. Multidimensional healing with AMCAT. I know. It just didn't work. It was messing things up, and so I had to let it go. I miss it. I shall grieve it. It does fit. So all the techniques come later. If you don't have this foundation, the techniques are not going to help you much. Then the healing will still have to come from you. You see? Whereas this is divine healing. We're the tube through which the higher dimension beings work. Here's the thing. Our guides love us so much. Everybody's guides love them so much. Nobody's ever tricked. The universe is a loving, supportive place. It has our backs. It has our backs. You're here trying to learn divine energy healing. There's so much support for you. You have a learner's permit. You may not know that, but some of you do. And so you can feel it in your hands. It's like a tangible energy thing. You have a learner's permit. And so when you're in the session and you don't know what you're doing, you just wave that learner's permit. I'm doing my best. Help! And help will come. Teaching team, what happens when you raise your learner's permit?
Help comes.
Anybody else? That's it?
Instantly.
Shout it out!
You make a
Instantly.
mistake, and it is, if you try your best, it is the best that you can do in that moment.
Yes.
It is accepted.
Yes, it's acceptable. Our best is good enough. Our best is good enough. And then they will bend down. The angels will bend down. And after you can start to see them more and more clearly, it's the most beautiful thing. We see in these classes people doing their best, and they're just trying to learn, and so their energy bodies don't have the alignment, but they're trying. And so the angels are coming down, and they're bending up and blowing healing through the tubes that we will eventually learn how to hold up. It's the most beautiful thing. So remember this. You have your learner's permit. You're going in to bring them into alignment with their soul plan. You can't hurt, you see? And you can't be hurt. You can't hurt and you can't be hurt. So, common questions, frequently asked questions. What are we doing again? What are the healer's goals? We're bringing people back into alignment with their soul's plan for the life that they're living. That plan includes challenges, but as souls we expect to win. So we're bringing people back into alignment with the place where they can step over the challenges and have them dissolve. What is the healer supposed to be doing? Right now, this is level 1. We're becoming the tube. We're just opening up the link to the best of our abilities. Even if the angels have to bend down and blow in our tubes, they will. It's not the same as blowing up a skirt. And so we are just witnessing whatever subtle skills we have, whatever subtle energy, ways of relating we have, we witness what's going on. We hold space and we observe. Quantum physics has proven the expectation of the observer changes the result. Yeah. And so what we do is observe with the power of belief. Why not now? Why not today that this gets healed? Why not? Why not? I'm sorry?
Sarah Elaine says she'll drink to that.
Okay, wow. We'll get to that tomorrow. I'm not really joking. Okay, so how is this different from giving an intuitive reading? Friends, don't let people limit it to that in their heads. Intuitive messages come. If we're helping people live their soul plan, knowing what the soul plan is can be a bit helpful, right? Yes. And so please don't get me wrong. Those messages are powerful and important. They help our minds have the framework that's helpful. But if If you limit it to that in your subjects' minds, they'll get that level of help. I've asked hundreds or thousands of guides, how much of this help is in the form of the message? And the answer is consistently 5% or less. 5% or less of the benefit is in the message. The rest is the power of the shift. So don't let your subjects think about this as a reading. Then they'll just walk out with the dregs, just the tiny little benefit of the reading, and they'll leave the glorious gift of energy shift on the table. It's just a waste. I was a CPA. I don't like that. How is this different from affirmative prayer? I like this analogy. Affirmative prayer is ask and know it is given, basically. It is much the same, except we're adding intuitive awareness, energetic support, and a progressive, detailed, interactive system of working with the higher dimension beings as an active collaborator and participant. Not so much in level 1, a little bit, just a little bit. We have these screens of light, you'll get to them. It's the only technique that we have in level 1. The techniques come in level 2 and level 3 in the higher level classes. Elaine.
I've completed all the studies for religious science practitioners, so I really know affirmative prayer. And I'm seeing this as very similar. However, in affirmative prayer, there's recognition that spirit is all there is. And I'm thinking, well, they're not recognizing that spirit is all there is in the AMCAT that I read about. I'm not sure that I saw that.
It's in A! It's in A!
Aligning with it. But first to recognize and then align. So maybe it's, I don't know.
Align with divine flow. The power to change comes from aligning with the river of life and love, not from ourselves. When we align with the divine flow, we open to the power of it. The full power of the universe is accessible to us, friends. We become the tube, the portal from the higher dimensions. This opens up source to us and to our subjects. Okay, good, got it. Okay, so I don't know why I have this note written right here, but it's right here. When we do our part, which is just to do our very best, whatever that is, some element of the divine supplies the rest. We do it our best, however little and meager it is, and the full power of the universe matches our effort. Now the universe does its best. That's when the miracle occurs. Frequently asked question, am I making this up? I understand that question. As you get into it, you think, there is no way I could possibly be making this up. But at first, just notice the surprises. Notice the things that don't turn out like you think they would. Notice the things that aren't what the subject expects. Because if you're picking it up from them, it's going to be very familiar to them. If you're picking it up from their guides, it could be the aha moment that changes their life. And notice how it feels when it's coming through us. It's just effortless. It's just flowing. It's not hard work. If you're efforting, something's off with the alignment. Change the alignment. Why don't I get the guide's instructions of what to do? Why can't I hear it? You see? In the moment, just clear your field. If you get to that moment and you're stuck, just start again. Pulse the vortex, we'll get to that. Pulse the living waters, refresh yourself, use the energy spray, wiggle, shake, tone, do something to change, but repeat the opening process. Flush your energy clear, re-merge, channels up, and ask again. Ask again. Over time, there are things we can do to improve our subtle energy sensing, and we'll talk about those tomorrow morning. So in the moment, we just flush our field and do our best to clear the energy. Over time, we change our habits. In the moment, we can also change our expectation of what it's going to sound or be like. We might be thinking that messages will come through one way, but our way is different. Many people get hung up on visual. They want the visual. Anybody relate to that? Want the visual. We have somebody in our certification program who is exquisitely visual. She is right on. She doesn't understand what any of those things mean. You see, don't get hung up on what you don't have. Work with what you do have. You have the skills that are right for you. If you were supposed to have other skills, you would have them. And don't worry, they'll come. They'll all come. We're all naturally multisensory. It's just a matter of developing it. Don't worry. What if I only want to work on myself? You can do that. That is the slow and painful way. It is, because we're blind to what we need. We're blind to what we need. When we start to work healing other people, the universe will bring us our stuff. And we'll think, is this my pain or hers? Yes. And so then we just work with other people, helping them, working with their guides. And we discover we are also healed of the things we didn't even know we had. Diane?
What happens when you work with, say, a family member who thinks you're making it up? How do you respond to that?
What happens if you work with a family member who thinks you're making it up? Don't work with that person. Don't work with that person. Working with family, working with ourselves is the hardest thing we can do. We are our most deluded subject. The DDD, the dilemma of delusion and denial, is alive and well for each of us as individuals. And let's just acknowledge that. We are all deluded and in denial about our stuff, or we would be over our stuff. So let's not make it wrong. Oh, your faces. This isn't about blaming ourselves. This is just saying, I get it. I'm blind to my own stuff. I'm going to go work with some other people and trust that my guides will bring me the right people to work with. Our family is the next tier of difficulty to work with, the people that we love. Don't work with them. Don't work with them. I have had clients and, that I have had to say, I can't work with you anymore because they get too, dependent. But that's the other level where they're thinking, well, she's just saying that because she wants me to do that. Now she's trying to manipulate me. It's like, whoa, whoa. No, I can't work with you anymore. Okay, wait. Roger! We have Roger and Rocco. It's confusing.
Yeah, this question is very similar to what you just answered. What if you're working with somebody and, again, you're trying to get out of judgment, just let it happen. But for some reason, you just get this feeling like they really don't want you here.
Teaching team. Who's worked with somebody who doesn't want to be healed? Is teaching team. Teaching team. Is there anybody who doesn't have your hands up? If you do, shout it out. So there are many people who aren't ready to let it go. It's okay. It's okay. Here's how my guides say it to me, because I used to just weep bitter tears over this one. They said, look, you're on a train. They can get on the train or not. If they don't, it wasn't a train. It was a boat. You're on a boat going through a swamp, and it's the swamp of despair and suffering, and you're trying to drag people out of the swamp and into the boat. And some of them are fighting you, and they don't want to get on the boat. And I'm saying, what do I do? And they say, let go of them. There's another boat coming. Let go of them. There's another boat coming. There's another boat coming. . The last question. Can I do this? Wait. Okay, go ahead.
Can you use this method with animals?
You can use this method with animals, with babies, with old people, on businesses, on communities, on groups, on the planet. Here's the thing, however. We cannot do this without permission. We must have permission. Permission from the animals and the children and the groups. So the groups are easy. If we are part of the group, we have not only the right but the responsibility to heal the group. For animals, they understand us. They understand us. Ask the animal, is it okay? Talk to them like they can understand you, because they can. Just because you don't hear them doesn't mean they can't hear you. Tell them what you're doing, and then say, okay, so we're heading in that direction. Let me know if this isn't okay with you. And just start on it and just ask them a couple more times, is this okay? That means yes.
Well, how do you do children, though, babies or something?
How do you do babies? They understand. Ask them. They can hear you when they're fetal. They know what's going on when they're 2 months fetal. They know what's going on. Just because we can't understand them doesn't mean they're stupid. They know. Ask them, and just like the animals, you say, okay, I'm going to do, here, you explain it. It's divine energy healing. We'll ask your guides for help. Is this okay with you? I'm going to head in that direction now. We're going to start. Give me some kind of sign if you don't want it. If they pee in your face, then don't do it, or something. Who had a son? Right. Right. Anyone else? Rebecca.
I was just going to comment on the animals. I got to work on a horse, and it's so cool. But I've also worked on my jade plant, and I actually felt, it's a matter of like just trusting that you can feel it, and I felt the energy of the jade. But the horse, when I was doing opening process, I was doing it in my head, and all of a sudden you feel it close, like you're not getting out. It's like you're just standing next to a horse.
They didn't have permission, right? Okay.
He wanted to know what was going on.
Well, yeah. Did you not explain it? Okay. So anyway. So the last frequently asked question, can I do this? It's normal to feel this. Teaching team, did you have this doubt? Did anyone in the teaching team not have this doubt at some point in time? It's normal and natural, this doubt, but the truth is we can all do this. Step by step it happens. Step by step it happens. If your guides want you to do, rephrase, would you be in this room if your guides didn't think this was a good idea for you? What else would you be doing today? There's other choices, you see? You're here because you can do this. You're here because you can do this. Of course you can do it. You don't have to do it alone. There's a lot of higher dimension support, and there's a lot of physical dimension support too. We'll help you. We'll help you. So friends, what we're going to do right now is part of that help. Part of that help. It's divine energy healing. We're going to ask for divine help. We do this. This is a teaching tool, not a healing tool, but we make a request for transmission of divine energy. I'm asking for it. It doesn't come from me. It comes through me. Just like the healing. It doesn't come from us. It comes through us. So is this an okay plan? Ready for a divine energy healing, divine teaching transmission for divine energy healing. You might want to put your things down. It's an energy experience. Let's just start by once again refreshing our energy bodies very quickly. We'll flush the energy cross of the heart chakra and vertical channels. This is not a religious statement. A cross is a geometric shape. It's an effective shape for clearing an energy body. We're clearing our energy bodies in a cross because it's an effective shape. So we can clear our heart chakras back to front and front to back, but we can also clear them side to side. Chakras can be cleared from any angle. And if you've been clearing your chakras front to back for a long time, often by mixing it up, you'll get better result clearing it side to side just because you haven't tried it that way before. And now let's flush our energy bodies clear, top to bottom and bottom to top. Top to bottom and bottom to top, creating turbulence, cleansing, clearing, drawing up earth energy now. Noticing what's happening is that your energy bodies are both expanding and your ability to accept how powerful and strong you actually are is also expanding. So draw that energy up from the center of the planet to the center of the universe, through us and around us, engaging in the eternal process of straightening the energy body. There's always more we can do, friends. We're never done. Isn't that wonderful that tomorrow we're going to be growing too? Drawing it up to source. And now draw the focus to the crown and open up the top of your head like a flower in the sun or like a funnel. And if it helps you to draw your focus inward, you can close your eyes, but keep that inner focus. And right now I'm going to ask on all our behalf for the channels to be opened even wider to our own guides and angels, and of course to that ultimate source of life and love. I'm asking the channels be opened wider to the Lightworkers, healing method teachers, and to the light beings themselves. And I'm asking that any blockages or resistance that we have be cleared away right now so that we can receive your gifts, receive your blessings, receive the healings. And I'm asking for each of us right now to be drawn into full optimal alignment with you, the guides, the angels, light beings, and source. And I'm asking that you prepare our energy bodies right now to receive your gifts, receive your blessings, receive the healing, and receive your guidance. And now, please give each of us that which is in accordance with the divine plan for us as individuals. Give us whatever healing we're open to receive right now. Give us beautiful energy shift, beautiful. Give us all other gifts and assistance that are in our highest and best good. And realign our intuitive channels, our sensing mechanisms to point straight up to you. Realign them as much as we allow to point straight, straight, straight up. And help each of us to release all mistaken and limiting beliefs. Help us to deeply know there are truly no limits. Give each of us whatever we need to open wide to divine flow. Open our second senses so we can clearly perceive the subtle energies. Open and align our second senses to clearly distinguish yes from no in the guidance. Clear our physical bodies, clear our mental bodies, clear our emotional bodies and our spiritual bodies so we continually receive the stream of divine help and healing that's here for each of us in every moment. I'm asking for each of us to be given whatever we need to know that our guides are real and that they love us. I'm asking for each of us to be given whatever it is we need so that we can trust our guides. Give each of us that which is needed to be a perfect vessel for soul healing. Give each of us what matters most in this work. Give each of us whatever we need to be a light worker in our own right way. Give each of us that which pulls us forward on our divine path, that optimal and personal future for each of us. And now help us optimally integrate and anchor these gifts, these blessings, these healings, these awarenesses. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, friends, knowing there's power in repetition, I'm going to ask again for the channels to be opened even wider to our own guides and angels and that ultimate source of life and love, for the channels to be opened even wider to the light beings and the teachers of the Lightworkers healing method. And I'm asking that the next layer of blockages and resistance that would limit our ability to receive be cleared away. way right now, and that we'd be drawn into full optimal alignment with you, the guides, the angels, light beings, and source, and prepare our energy bodies once more to receive your gifts and blessings at an even deeper level. And now, please give each of us that which is in accordance with the divine plan for us as individuals. Give us whatever healing we're open to receive right now. Give us all other gifts and assistance that are in our highest and best good. Realign our intuitive channels as much as we allow to point straight up to you, the guides, the angels, light beings, source. Please help each of us release all mistaken and limiting beliefs. Help us to deeply know there are truly no limits. Give each of us whatever we need to open wide to divine flow. Open our second senses so we can clearly perceive the subtle energies. Open and align our second senses so we can clearly distinguish yes from no in the guidance. Clear our physical bodies, clear our mental bodies, clear our emotional bodies, clear our spiritual bodies, so that we can receive the continual stream of divine help and healing that's here for all of us. I'm asking for each of us to be given whatever it is we need so that we can know our guides are real and that they love us. I'm asking for each of us to be given whatever we need so we can trust our guides. Give each of us that which is needed to be a perfect vessel for soul healing. Give each of us that which matters most in this work, whatever we need to be a light worker in our own right way, and that which pulls us forward on our divine path, that optimal and personal future for each of us. Now He'll help us now integrate and anchor these gifts, the healings, the blessings, the awarenesses. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, friends, there's a difference of opinion in our group today, which includes our webinar friends. Some people feel complete, and I acknowledge that, and that's fine. And other people would like to do this once more. So, friends, if you'd like to do this once more, here we go. If you want to sit there and process, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Process if you need to. And if you want to go again, I'm going to ask for our channels to be opened even wider to our own guides and angels, and of course to that ultimate source of life and love. I'm asking the channels be opened even wider to the teachers of the Lightworkers healing method, and of course to the healing light beings. I'm asking that any blockages or resistance that are now showing be now released. Take out the next layer of blockage and resistance and draw each of us to even more perfect alignment with you, the guides, the angels, light beings, source. Prepare our energy bodies to receive at a deeper level and give each of us that which is in accordance with the divine plan for us as individuals. Give us whatever healing we're open to receive right now. Give us all other gifts and assistance that are in our highest and best good. Realign our intuitive channels as much as we allow to point straight up to you, the guides, the angels, light beings, source. And help each of us to release all mistaken and limiting beliefs and to deeply know there are truly no limits. Give us whatever we need to open wide to divine flow. Clear our second senses so we can perceive the subtle energies. Open and align our second senses so we can clearly distinguish yes from no in the guidance. Clear our physical bodies, our mental bodies, our emotional bodies, and our spiritual bodies so we can receive the continual stream of divine help and healing that's here for each of us. I'm asking for each of us to be given whatever it is we need to know that our guides are real and that they love us and that we can trust them. Give us whatever is needed so that we can be a vessel for healing. Give us that which matters most in this work. Help us be a light worker in our own right way. And pull us forward on our divine path right now. That optimal and personal future for each of us. And now help us integrate and anchor the gifts, the awarenesses, the blessings, the healings. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. If there's any pain or tightness, especially in the head and neck, what we will do is use our powerful energy hands to expand the constrictions that are creating that pressure. So use your hands if you have head or neck tightness right now, as if you're taking the hat brim of a normal hat and pulling it into a sombrero. Pull that energy out. You're not pushing it away to get rid of it. You're simply expanding your definition of self so that the energy is making you strong rather than pressing on you, making you miserable. You can also pull your hat up like you're turning a normal hat into a Dr. Seuss hat. So up and out, and that head and neck tension should go away. You can also be feeling just kind of queasy or strange. That's we've lost our hold on the planet. So draw the focus down, 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 diving into the earth, drawing up earth energy, divine earth energy coming up through us and around us. Wider, 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 wider through your whole pillar of light. Many of you, your pillars of light are into whatever's on the other side of that wall and out this wall too. So look at how big this room is and start to consider that your energy bodies are bigger than that. Start to consider that and work with that as your definition. Any pain, tightness, pressure, discomfort? Okay. Okay.